Okay, hello everyone. I am doing a video on how to use Microsoft OneNote, which is another Microsoft Office tool that we have access to here at Southeastern. So we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. I'm going from, hopefully you know where the OneNote application is. So we're going to start with that. And just when you open that suite up, or that icon, you should look at something like this. Whatever your computer name is, it's going to default and make a notebook with that name. It might ask you to name the notebook, and you can name it whatever, but whenever I did it, it just gave it my first notebook the name of my computer, which it's Jared right now. So within OneNote, you have a bunch of different tabs and subsections and sections. So the very first one is your notebook. All right, so I have one notebook right now. It's called Jared's Notebook. I can add multiple notebooks if you want. If you want to, if you have multiple sections that you want to keep separate for whatever reason. So I'm going to save it to my desktop. I'm going to give this one a name of let's just do personal and create. So now I have Jared's notebook. I have a personal notebook, and again, I could do another one. There's no limitations on what it is. So let's just do a work notebook. So again, just different ways to organize it. So let's go back to Jared's notebook. In that notebook, notice that I have a new section, section 1. So it defaulted. A lot of you, it might look like this. Let me just delete these. When you open it, it might just say there aren't any sections here, but the second you click in that gray area, it makes a section and it wants you to name it. So I'm just going to name this one of my classes. So I want to do IT 111. All right, so that is my section, and then each section can be broken down into pages. So right now I have an untitled page, which it's asking me to title this right now. What I tell people or my students, whoever asks me how to use this, I just tell them to put the date here. It's just a good way to keep them organized. Again, it's all however you want to save and the reason you're saving it. And again, I can add a page, and then I can do tomorrow's, and so on and so forth, and just keep adding pages. So again, you have the notebook, you have your different notebooks that you can make. You can have the sections in your notebook. So let's just do another class of mine, DT 211. And again, I can make as many of these as I want. However many I want, I can cycle through them just by clicking the tab, and then I can cycle through the pages just by clicking the pages off to the right here. So that's the very basics. Now, again, this is a Microsoft Office product. So at the top, you have a ribbon that we're very familiar with, the File, Home, Insert, Draw. If you click Home, again, it looks just like opening up a Word document or an Excel document, because again, it's an Office application. For some reason, this doesn't come docked automatically. It always goes away. So if you come over to here to the side and hit this clothespin, it'll dock it to where it stays. That's how I suggest using it, just because you're going to use a lot of this information until you get good with the program and good with using a pen for a touchscreen device, like a tablet or a computer that has a touchscreen. I'm using a Surface 3 with the Microsoft pen that it comes with. And I believe I'm using the OneNote 2019 version. Depending on which version of Microsoft Office you have, things might be a little bit different, but it all should be pretty close to the same. So some features I think are important for first-time users. So right here, in this blank white sheet, anywhere you click, you're just going to start typing. All right. And basically what's happening is you're making a text box every time you click. So every time I click, again, it's a new text box. So wherever you click, you can start typing. Just like any text box, you can click it, you can stretch it, you can change the font inside of it, you can delete it, just like anything else. You can move it around to wherever you want. But I personally don't like this just blank white screen. One, it hurts my eyes. Two, it's a little intimidating in my opinion. So I always go to my view, and then right here on page setup, ruler lines, you have all different types of options. So you can make it look like a piece of paper, which students love, makes it look familiar. Generally when you click right in between the line and then you hit enter, it fits perfectly on those lines. Let's see. You can make those lines bigger if you need bigger text for whatever reason, but I would just suggest zooming in, not changing that. But for my classes, what I generally use is this grid mode, because I do a lot of math, I do a lot of drawings, and the grids help me. And same thing, we can change the size of these grids just by clicking different scales right here. And then it still works the same. Anywhere I click, it's going to start a text box. So again, if you just type normally, you just have normal text box. Just like always, you can change the font size, the font itself, the color, whether it's highlighted, the color of the text, all that good stuff that we can change in any Microsoft Office product. But what I think is what separates this from other note-taking devices is this draw tab. So when I come to draw, notice that I'm defaulted to the typing mode, but when I click any of these, so these are pens and highlighters, I'm going to do a thicker red pen, and then I'm going to come over to the side and click draw with touch. So when I select this, it deselects my typing mode, so I'm no longer going to be able to type. And notice that your cursor now is a red dot. So right now I'm using my cursor, my mouse rather, and so I could even use my mouse to draw. But if anybody's ever tried to draw with a mouse, it's not that easy, as you can kind of see. But also with this draw to touch, I can use my stylus or my pen that comes with my Surface 3, and it's I find it a little bit easier to draw with. With these pens, they're almost all set up the same. You generally have two buttons towards the very pointy end of the stylus or the pen. The very first button is usually erase. Let's just draw some more stuff. The back button is usually a select tool of some sort, which could allow you to delete, move your drawing, all that good stuff. The next application I think would be beneficial for us to know is how to basically bring in other information like pictures and images. So I thought I had one open. I must have closed my internet. I'm just going to go find a picture real quick. Let's go do image search just to find something useful. Let's say I like this one. So I'm just going to copy image, go back to my OneNote, right click, paste. And again, now we have an image that we can kind of edit a little bit. Come on. It's a little finicky on my tablet. This works much better on a computer. All right, so we can kind of edit. I can zoom in and out just by touching my screen. Also, if you don't have a touch screen, and you're just using this with the regular computer, you can go to view again and zoom in and out right here with these tools. And again, I can go to draw, and then I can draw using my pen again. So again, that's one way we can use this. And again, it's just bringing all kinds of different aspects together. I'm going to go to a different page. Another way we can bring in information, and again, with this new program, I'm actually not that familiar with 2019, so I'm having a little bit of trouble importing PDFs. It might just be the fact that I have an older Surface, and newer Surface won't have this problem. But I used to be able to just go to Insert, File, Printout. It would ask me, what do I want? I want to import this 01, but it keeps giving me this problem. But there's an easy solution. I have this PDF here at the bottom. So this is the PDF I want to bring into my OneNote. So all I got to do is click, go to my print, however you print, and now that you have OneNote on your computer, and you might have noticed this, that it says you always have this OneNote that pops up. So if I click that, it's going to ask me, what do I want to print? I'm just going to print this one sheet. So this current page, print. I'm going to give it a second. Sometimes it'll automatically switch to OneNote, but on my tablet, I have to switch back. And when you switch back, it generally gives you an option. So it's asking, where do you want to place this PDF? All right. Do you want it to go in the current section you have open? Do you want it in Jared's notebook? Do you want it in your personal? Do you want it in your work? In the different sections. So I'm going to select my current section and hit OK. Give it a second, and there it is. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, or sorry, zoom out. So it automatically put it on a different page instead of putting it in the 1617, but that's fine. Again, you could easily go in here and rename it. So assignment 1, enter. And again, now I'll have a new page with assignment 1. I'm going to go back to my draw tab, touch screen, do my pen. I'm going to zoom in a little bit, view. We're just identifying the zeros. And it should be, for some reason, it's not showing up. And again, I'm not that familiar with the 2019 version. So there are some things I'm still trying to figure out myself. But I just did this, so I don't know why I'm having the issues. Let's see. Sometimes this pen mode right here gets turned off. You generally won't create both handwritten and drawings, but that is on. And usually I can just draw on this no problem, but for some reason it's not working. So what I'm going to try to do is, it should save automatically. It doesn't give me a save option, so I'm assuming it's going to save automatically. So I'm going to close it and reopen it, because that's your classic fix for products you don't know what's going on. So let's go back to draw. Yep. So now it's working. So all we're doing is identifying the zero, so we could draw zeros on my X, 0 on my Y. We can draw them out. We can come down here. Should be able to type right here. So I can do, zoom out a little bit. So -2, comma, 0. 0. -2. Right, or we could come here and just write it out. So -3, 0, 3, 0, and 0, -9. Either way, any way you want to work it. Again, I don't know what happened there the last time when it wouldn't let me draw, but a classic fix for that, if it does happen, it's just close the program, reopen it. Don't be afraid that you're going to lose information, because it's supposed to save everything automatically. It's like Google Drive that way. The last thing I'm going to do in this little demonstration is show you how to share this with other people. So if we go to File, Share, give it a second. So I am the owner, but I can share it with other people. That way they can open this notebook on their OneNote. So we just type a person's name or their email in. I'm just going to do my personal. So I do my personal email. It should. All right, so I can edit or I can just view. Again, if you want to use this for students, I would suggest always just letting them view it. That way they can't mess up anything that you do. And then you click share. And so now I'm the owner, and Jared Reno 7 can view anything I do in this OneNote, and they should get an alert on their home screen. So when they click on this, if I go to my Jared Reno 7 computer, wherever that is, I should have one that says shared with, and I should be able to click on that and be able to look at my notebook. So again, that was just a quick overview of tools I think are important and useful for our department. I hope this was helpful to you, and I hope I can answer any questions that you might have for me. Just send me some emails, call me on my office phone, whatever you would like. Other than that, I hope you have a good day.